Well, yes, we're live. Excellent. Excellent. Yes, the tweet's gone through. Just wait now. It's the waiting game that's the hardest, really, isn't it? You know, waiting for people to come through and chat. Brush and a foam brush. Sorry, that was a spoon. Ah, we have one viewer. Hello, welcome. So, welcome to the stream. I'm just waiting for a few more viewers, so let's see what happens. I always find the earliest the first 5 minutes or so is always rather quiet, but it picks up in the end. It does pick up. So it is never a bad thing, really. It just needs the message to get out. I have put a message out on Twitter, so hopefully, bear with me. Yeah, it's always a bit quiet in the first 5 minutes. Needs to pick up a little bit more. So, was that my stomach? I think it was. Now, excuse me for the sound. Now, I don't normally do traditional triggers, but as there's nothing else to do, I'm actually going to break my own rules, and I'm going to do some... Ah, we have a second viewer. Ah, hello. Welcome, Quaint. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Doing very well, thank you. Yes. Yes, very well indeed. Been quite busy. Well, I say I've been quite busy today. I've been script writing, so working on little projects and things. So plenty of stuff to do. Yes. I hope you're doing well as well, of course. Excuse me, because my camera's this side and I've got two screens. I work... You can hear me okay, can't you? You can actually hear me, I believe. Yes. Yeah, I can see the mic is reacting, so that's good. Yeah, excuse me, because the camera's this side on my laptop, and the screen that I'm looking at the moment is the chat screen. Excuse me. So it's a little bit awkward. I still haven't found my camera to actually set up in front of me so I can actually look directly ahead. I did try to use my phone, but the network, not the network, the webcam software that I downloaded isn't actually compatible with my mobile, which is rather a nuisance. Well, I did write. I've only ever finished one. I used to write Doctor Who fan fiction, and I've only ever finished one novella. It was called The Soul Machination, and set in another dimension, with an ambiguous regeneration of the Doctor. And yeah, it was the only one I ever finished. It's about 30 chapters long, but I do hope to one day read it as part of my channel, do a reading of it. I'm really interested in doing it. Now I've got my Blue Yeti microphone. I really hope to be able to do a proper reading of it. I used to use my phone. To record my audio, but it meant I had to keep... Excuse me, that's my chair. Sorry, I'm just trying to plug my phone back in because it needs charging. I used to use my phone to record my audio, but because I recorded it as a video, I had to plug it into my laptop. Oh, I do beg your pardon. It's all a bit of a tangle tonight. All a bit of a tangle. There we go. Anyway, so used to put it through my phone onto my laptop, and I had to convert it into MP3. So MP4 into MP3. It was a very long-winded process. So I got the mic purely so that I could record directly into my laptop without having to go through the long-winded process of recording, converting. I could do everything in one hit. So I can record the voices, record the audio basically, and then process it straight away. And normally I do, if it's a 2-character chapter that I'm just doing alone, I record each character individually. So I leave about a 30-second gap between each character, and then merge the 2 tracks together, and then obviously cut them about so that they flow. The best example for that, for it actually working really well on my personal style, is, excuse me, that's my Bluetooth keyboard, I beg your pardon, is a Striking Trigon, which was one of my most recent uploads. That was actually quite an interesting one to do, because that is the one where it flows. The interaction between the 2 characters is much more close-knit than other ones that I've done on my own. The other ones I would say would be the ones featuring, Cleo and Trajan is another good example. That's obviously me and another content creator who's very good at what she does. And then what else? Reporting into Necrotia. That's the other one that's really pitch perfect for dialogue timing as well. I mean, for anyone who's never seen my series before, if they go in straight at chapter 1, which I always recommend to do anyway, you'll note how nervous, how unprepared I was, and basically, chapter 1 is good. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but you know, it shows in about, excuse me, background noise. So I'm just going to lower the gain a little bit. There we go. The sort of, I think it's about 15 or 16 chapters now I've uploaded. Some of them are actually side stories, so they're not actually part of the main storyline. They're connected, but they're not part of the main storyline. It's my way of being able to introduce characters that will appear in the future without, you know, so participants can appear before they appear, if you know what I mean. It creates an introduction for the characters. So far I've done that for, obviously, Cleo and Trajan, Lord Volkov, Valeria, they're both vampires, Mordred, the leader of the Sklade, the Overseer of Trigon, the Geoffrey of Trigon, who else? Mad Captain Tellers. Actually, that was an interesting one because that's actually going to be a spin-off set in the Firelands involving dragons and things like that. But that was actually written for International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Because I always wanted to do something for International Talk Like a Pirate Day. You know, ooh-ar, yes, Jim lad, ooh-ar, ha-ha-ha, har. Beware of the wash. You know, something like that. You know, something really daft. And funnily enough, I was talking about this earlier on, but the one voice I've done so far that has had no audio treatment to it whatsoever was Mr. Phipps in the most recent chapter, or in the second part of Cleo and Trajan, which I uploaded yesterday. That is just purely me talking. Oh, I say. Oh, lummy. You know, that is literally me without any changes through Audacity whatsoever. All my other characters have had the pitch of my voice changed to create individual, you know, personalities, styles, but it all balances out in the end and becomes something a bit more, what's the word, coherent. Maybe not the word coherent, but if you're on the same lines of what I'm thinking, you'll know what I'm getting at. So yes, there's a lot of new ideas coming up. I'm still working on. I'm working my way towards the Dream Realm. The Dream Realm is going to be. I've already worked out which chapters they're going to be. They are very specific because they take place. They're very important to the story, in fact. Very important. They have characters that will play a big part in the future of the series. Basically, I'm building up towards a second war against the Tyrant King. That's the long-term plan. A lot of characters that I've featured so far, I want to actually bring back and have them the plan is to have them play a significant role in the sort of second act of the story, as it were, which will be much later chapters. It's already beginning to fall into place because obviously the vampires will play quite a big role in the series, Lord Volkov, or should I say, Lord Volkov. I love doing that voice. So, what news do you bring from our allies? It does kill the throat, but it is so fun to do that voice. It's so rich and deep, and it just came out of nowhere. I just decided to create a character, and then of course, if you follow me on Twitter, the username is exactly the same on Twitter, so look me up. I'm followed by quite a few people, so I'm quite easy to spot. I basically use the same profile picture on Twitter as I do on Instagram and on this channel as well. So I'm very easy to find. But that's the beauty of what I love doing, because I love to have other people involved. I love collaborating with other people. I'm always bringing up new characters, new ideas, new storylines, and I absolutely love it. I know this is something I talk about a lot in my last 3 live streams, but I'm just so passionate about it. I'm often worried that people do get bored of me talking about it a lot, but so many people have been really good to me and actually said, if it's what you're passionate about, talk about it. And I love talking about it. I love writing. I love coming up with locations, trawling Pixabay, Pexels, Unsplash to find suitable background images. We've got some really good names coming up. I think I went through the list last week. Obviously, Quaint ASMR, you're in chapter 7, of course, which I'm very grateful for, and I love your portrayal of Tanith. I really can't wait for that to go up on screen. But people we've got coming up in the future in the series, we've got Atlas ASMR, Evil Rob ASMR, Lumi Umi ASMR, Mysteria's ASMR, They Seek Her There ASMR, Mike Talks, Savvy Nien, Spinner of Trails, Urmila Dolce ASMR, Heliquin ASMR, Dappist ASMR. Who else? Jess K Creative ASMR, Miss Chic ASMR. Yeah, we've got some really good people on the way for later chapters. Mostly, chapters 9, 11, 13, and then Black Cat Aura and Official Raina Tamarin ASMR are returning as new characters in chapter 14. So, which is called Lost in the Desert. Chapter 15 is the first chapter of the Dream Realm, and it contains a lot of that goes 15 to 19, so that's the Dream Realm. I'm calling it a mini series, but it's actually part of the main series, so it's always going to be something really good. I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Excuse me. No, I thought someone had walked into my room, but they obviously hadn't. Gone back down to 0 viewers. Okay. Interesting. I'm sure people will jump back in when the time comes. These things happen. You never know what might happen. Such is life. 2 creates a third. People have their own. Hello, welcome again. Yes, indeed. Just waiting for a few more. We had a few viewers, and then they kind of dropped out. So at the moment, I'm waiting for a few more to see what's going on. So it's swings and roundabouts at the moment. Swings and roundabouts, but. You know, it's such as that's the way of life, really, isn't it? You know, people are busy. On YouTube, smiley face. There we go. Yes, so. Yes, life's like that, isn't it? Still, we live and learn. We live and learn. Maybe I'll surprise them a bit, you know. Sponge brush with a bit of paint on it. See, people are missing out. Bob Ross brush. Sometimes you've just got to do mainstream. Even if there's no one there, you just carry on. Show must go on. The show must go on. On and on, I'm sick of moping, doping and complaining. Yes, the theme song to Nostalgia Critic. The review must go on. The review must go on. No more pretentious song. No. The joke's gone on too long. No more pretentious songs about love or destiny. Da-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. The review must go on. Yes. And then, of course, you know, so yes, it's a bit slow tonight, I'll be honest. It is a bit slow, but we make do with what we have. You know, this is all recording, so people can always watch it back. That's the beauty of it. And do drop questions or anything if you have them. You know, I'm always happy to speak if you wish to do so. So yeah, I was really talking about my series that I do on my channel, and you know how much I love writing about it and all that. So it's getting there. It's getting there. Quite a few chapters on the way. But Yeah, I mean, I don't normally do, you know, sort of triggers, but I mean, you know, got a brush, got a microphone. But, so, sometimes you have to make do with what you have, really, don't you? You know, that's what life's all about in the end. You live and make do with what you've got. And you're always grateful for it. That's the secret. That is the secret. You know. I always maintained I wouldn't do mainstream triggers, but to be honest with you, sometimes for a live stream you've just got to play around with the mic. You've just got to play around. I won't do mouth sounds. I don't do mouth sounds, but I don't mind sort of playing around with a brush and incidentally, this is actually a Bob Ross brush. I have tried doing Bob Ross painting in the past, the wet on wet technique. And hi Julie, welcome. You managed to make it. Wonderful. Sorry, I was just doing some mainstream triggers, you know, with the brush. With my Bob Ross brush. And this is genuine Bob Ross products. Yeah, I was talking earlier on about the series again, Lord of War and Heartache. I have to admit, saying what my plans are for the future and talking about the planned Dream Realm series, of which makes up chapter 15 to chapter 19. So. That, of course, is going to feature the steampunk nightmare machine chapter. So, we'll paint some. Let's paint some happy little trees. Happy little trees. You know, touch of the old titanium white. I guess if I grow my hair, into, I mean, it's quite long already. So I could perhaps try and get it into sort of an afro, and you know. That's me painting some happy little hills on the horizon. All right. We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents, and we learn to work with those accidents. Yeah, so oh, you know, it's a lot of fun, really. You know, I love the joy of painting, and so it keeps me going. But yeah, so I've got a foam brush as well. It's covered in paint, but you know, gives off a very different scratching. What else have I got here that I could try? What else? Back scratcher? This is actually quite fun. I have to admit, this is actually quite fun. I might do more of this during live streams. Actually, this is. I might save these for live streams. Keep my regular videos as my storytelling, and do some of this sort of stuff for. The live streams, you know, keep it sort of a bit more entertaining, but yeah, so some big ideas on the way. The Academy is one. If you've go visit Irma Dolce ASMR and see her video for the character of Alina, who will be appearing in chapter 9 of my series. That is her sort of way of finding the character, really, creating the role, as it were. She is a professional actress. Well, I think she is. I know she's trained as an actress, so yes, I have. Yeah, I went through the list earlier. I mean, who have we got? I'll go through it again. We've got Atlas, Evil Rob, Lumi Umi, Mysterias, They Seek Her There, Mike Talks, Savigny, Spinner of Trails, Irma Dolce, Heliquin, Dappist, who else? Jessica Creative, Miss Chic. That's it so far. I mean, I've still got, obviously chapter 7 is on the way. Chapter 8 is performed by me. Chapter 9 is where a lot of the characters come in that I've mentioned. Yeah, I mean, we've got in chapter 9, we've got Avalon, Anira and Loretta, Avalon, Nero, Corvus, Alina. In chapter 11, we've got Duchess Eleanor de Aquilus, Duke Octavius, who Atlas is playing. I don't know why I keep looking at that screen. It's because the chat screen is on there. Duke Octavius, as played by Atlas. Duke Heinrich, as played by Evil Rob. Persephone the Crown Princess, played by Lumi Umi. Who else? In that's their chapter 11. Also in chapter 11, we've got Lady Estrella, played by Jess Kay, and Lady Erica, played by Miss Chic. And in chapter 13, we've got Shaman Moonshadow, played by Heliquin, Draco the Peddler, played by Dappist. Who else? Helena, played by They Seek Her There. And in the Dream Realm, Heliquin is also playing Ophelia the Huntress. There are some other people as well, but there's still plenty of characters. There's still plenty of characters available. That's the thing. I'd love to try and get them all cast. That would be amazing if I could. And obviously, if you follow me on Twitter, which I know you do, Julie, everyone, you know, I do post up the list quite a lot. I do quite a few casting calls because I'm so, well, you know for certain that how passionate I am about my project. That is the truth. I am really passionate about this. It's what's kept me going through the entire British lockdown. It's kept me thinking. It's kept me creative. Ronin! Hello, good sir. My good sir, welcome indeed. You are thrice ye welcome ye thrice. Yes, just to bring you up to date, Ronin. I was just sort of discussing. Excuse me. Oh dear, my back. I don't know why, but I sit in this chair always at an awkward angle, and it causes my back to start aching. So. Anyway, I was just going through current cast members of my series. So we've got some really good names coming involved in upcoming chapters. I'm really quite excited for it. I really think it's going to be worthwhile. So I mean, then we've got the academy. Basically, I'm looking for some. The leaders of the academy that I'm looking for. We've already got Alina. There's four more leaders after that. So I'm looking for a bard, a musician, a singer, and a jester. That's what I'm looking for. And then we're looking for students, basically. So you've got dance students, bardic students, musician students, singing student. Did I say singer? Yeah, one of the leaders is a singer, and jester students. Oh, don't worry about that, Julie. You carry on. I can talk here for ages. Yeah. So the lists are all up on my Twitter feed. There's pinned to the top of my Twitter feed. There's this darn chair, I tell you, this darn chair. Sorry, that was my southern states accent. You know. I promise I won't ever do that again. I do apologise to my American friends, especially if they're rewatching this back. But I have so many things I want to create and do for this series. I mean, audio, video. Some characters work better with audio. Some characters work better with video. I will probably stick to audio because my voice is attuned to audio. Plus, the other problem I have is I don't have any costumes. So, well, I've got my one sort of steampunk style costume. So I might do a video for the Nightmare Machine. I might actually do a video for the Nightmare Machine in character. The only thing is it's the same costume I wear for Maximus, which is an audio character, but I appear as a still shot in Chapter 7. So I need to think about that. I need to work something out for that, but I will. Fear not. I might be clever, you see, because what it might be is I might have the characters might have it explained that the characters resemble people that the traveller, which is what the viewer is known as, resemble people they've already met. So, for example, that way it would explain why my character would look like Maximus, and whoever else plays a role. They might have... I mean, obviously, if brand new participants join me for chapter... let me remember which one it is. Chapter 17. We'll find other ways of explaining how they seem to relate to the viewer, as it were. So I've got it all worked out in ahead. I always try and get it all worked out. I mean, there's still a lot of blank spaces on these spreadsheets. There's still plenty of characters. I mean, out in the Forest Realm list, there's only 9 characters listed, and 6 of them are uncast. In the Desert Realm list, there's 19 characters, and only 8 of them are uncast, so we're not doing too badly on that list. In the Ondarian characters, there's 20 in total and 11 uncast. So there's, well, 2 of them are actually pending because I'm sorting out. Yes, the steampunk one is going to be brilliant. I think that's going to be amazing. So if anyone knows anyone in the community who does steampunk and they want to be involved, there's a few that I know of, but the problem is I always feel self-conscious about approaching people. That's why I always put the shout outs, because I much prefer people to approach me. I know it's complicated, and obviously as a rule I never force a character onto anybody. That is a genuine rule. I always want my participants to be comfortable and safe in their role. I will never, number one rule, I will never ever force anyone to do any role they don't want to do. That is wrong. That is wrong. So, and I do that out of the utmost respect for the people I work with. If they say, could you suggest a role, I will go through their repertoire and say, well, judging by how you lowering the gain a little bit, that's better. Yeah, that's fine. I go through their channels and go, well, looking at the style you create, might I recommend this character? So it's not, it's a mutual. This is why I always give 100% creative control over their characters once I've written the script. I mean, I'll give you a quick example. Excuse me, there's a spoon on my desk. It's not so much a desk, it's a large table. I'll give you an example of this is from, yeah, I do know of her. I am subscribed to her channel, but I don't know if she's actually, I'm assuming she refers to herself. But this is how I do it. This is how I write it might have changed differently to when I sent the original scripts over to you, Julie, for chapters 4 and 7, because obviously I guess I've upped my game really in script writing. So I've got it here in split into sections. Yeah, Steampunk ASMR. I am subscribed to them, and I think they're on Twitter. I do follow them on Twitter. And they do have steampunk books. In fact, I think they own a couple of the books I own. But yeah, this is what I write in my script. Visual triggers and audio triggers are highly encouraged, be they hand movement, prop usages, tapping, vocalizations, inaudible whispering, that sort of thing. The exact triggers of choice I leave in the hands of the participant. Camera setup I talk about can be as close or as near to full body for the full effects of characterization, depending on your personal preferences and comfort zone. I leave this to the discretion of the individual participating. Location wise, it will be set in a room or a house. This is just the particular character of Helena. A room or a house. Whether or not you decide to use a green screen backdrop or decorate a filming location accordingly is entirely your own decision. I leave that for you to use your creativity. So that's how I do it. And then I'd say something along the lines of, all participants have 100% control over their characters. They are free to amend the script, ad-lib, and or improvise as much as they wish. All important notes are written in italics. If you want, Julie, nostrils up. Yeah, I have no issues. Then obviously I give the basic role of the character. Then I give personality and role in depth. So I give people something to build from. This is the one thing I always say for cost. This is for people doing video. This is what I say about costume. This is just the example I give. The first part is written in italics. 100% control over costumes is handed over to the individual performer. All suggestions that are made below do not need to be adhered to. They are strictly to be considered guidelines and are not set in stone. And then I make, because obviously it's a character set for a scene set in the Desert Realms, this is what I said. Potential suggestions for costuming in regards to Helena would be potentially an East meets West fusion, where the chapter being set in the Desert Realm would need to be bright, colourful clothing, as that is very much the style of the people of the land. It would need to be suitable attire to reflect how hot the land is. Obviously, I don't expect it. I just say, and then I go on to say in italics, these, however, are merely suggestions, and please do not feel you need to keep me posted on this process, though I am happy to provide opinion and advice in regards to if a style fits within the vision of the land. However, this character is your character, and therefore your own to develop as you see fit. Yeah. Well, no, if you want to film from the nose up, that's absolutely fine. I have no issues with that, Then obviously I go on to talk about triggers and things, again. So, I give complete control over the characters. Oh, I believe in 100%. I believe in creative freedom. I write the scripts. I build on the story. I mean, the locations are all my creations. I give the characters, basically, I give the characters their names and their occupations, and then after which I pretty much leave it in the hands of the participant, because they know what they know what their style is, they know what they want from their sort of characterization. Oh no, absolutely. The only reason I stick to the script is because I do it as audio, so it is pretty much how I do it for my parts, because obviously it's audio, so it's easier to stick to a script because you can actually read it in front of you on the screen and speak into the microphone. Whereas I prefer it if people ad lib or improvise. I think that makes it much more interesting. That's why I refer to what I write as guidance scripts. They are just a guide to help the participants set a scene, and that's the beauty of it. As long as they use the keywords that I mention, the crown of the Tyrant King, Ondar City, the governor. Most people who are in the Desert Realm stories always refer to Gebelra, because Gebelra is a bit of a mouthful to say. Gebolrah. That's the capital city of the Desert Realm, and it is quite a mouthful to say, I have to say. So I tend to not actually use the word in the scripts. I always refer to it as the capital of the desert realm, or capital city, which is a bit confusing because Ondar City is the capital of the entire monarchy. But as long as people say Ondar City or Ondar, then that actually alleviates the confusion. So I'm very careful with how I write things as well. I always, I mean, so far none of the characters I've written that people have participated as are not evil as such. They're they're dark, or but there's no maliciousness to them. There's no cruelty to them. The darkest characters I've written for are all characters I've played: the Tyrant King, Lord Volkov, and Mordred, who is the leader of the Sklade. And yeah, if someone mispronounces a word, does it bug you? I wouldn't say it bugs me. I mean, we've had, I have had one or two things that I don't pick people up on it. Put it this way, I'm happy as long as they're within the spirit of the series and the story. I put it down to things like local dialect. I mean, in my world, there is no excuse me, my mum's talking in the background and my mic's picking it up. There's no such thing as nationality, or anything like that. What there is, Ondarians and Gebelranians, for example, is all dependent. It all depends on which city they're ruled by, basically, or governed by. Ondar being the overall capital. It's like with the Forest Realm. Varuna is the governing city. So it's not about where you're born, your nationality. In my world, it's where you're governed. That's all it is. Because the entire land, the entire continent of Monarcha was conquered by the Tyrant King, which is explained in chapter 1. So that's where it all started. Funnily enough, I was going through some items on. I'll have to share it on my Twitter feed, but I was going through some files on my laptop the other day, and I actually came across a map that I drew on paintbrush. I mean, it's complete. Well, this is it. Hi, welcome, Mark. Welcome. We're just chatting about my series, The Lord of War and Heartache. Actually, you're most welcome to join. Indeed. Could there be instances where you could play locals reference? Yes, I have been thinking about that. I haven't done it yet, because most of the time they're talking about the bigger picture. I will be doing more side stories. I mean, Cleo and Trajan, those particular side stories will have more, because that series is being played for humour. Whilst the main chapters are being played much more seriously. The vampire side stories are very serious, because they will become antagonists in the main chapter later on, in the main chapters later on. They first featured in chapter 2, but they're building up towards becoming pretty big antagonists before the end of the story. The thing is, I've got plans for this story to go beyond the Tyrant King. I've already built like a roadmap for the entire... oh, you're going to love it, Julie. You are going to absolutely love it. I actually... it's the first character... One of the... Obviously, I do Trajan in it. But... I'm not going to spoil it for you. But the character I actually play through the majority of that chapter is the first one I've done where my voice isn't put through Audacity. It is 100% my natural... Put it this way. If you remember the collaboration we did for Jodie Marie, the Victorians, think about my character and think about my character in that video, in that collaboration, because that will give you a very basic idea of what my... Well, maybe doesn't exactly sound the same, but it's the same principle. It's the same principle. So yeah, it's... But yeah, I mean, as I said, the... I mean, I think the one I'm really going to have difficulty with is getting cast members for the Academy. As I say, I've already got one character for that. Oh, that's absolutely fine. Please don't worry about that. You know, everything I'm really speaking about is on my Twitter feed, so you know, do always, you know. You're very welcome, Mark. Very, very welcome indeed. Oh, coffee. Who? Oh, caffeine addict. So, but as I say, the dream realm is the one I'm really excited about, because I mean that's got a total of... I mean, it's spread over 4 chapters, but it's got a total of 34 characters to be cast, and I've only cast 3 of them so far. One of them is my own. I'll probably play a couple of characters throughout, but yes, yeah, I'm looking for musicians and... Oh, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, because obviously Irma Dolce, I'm hoping will be involved with that, because Alina is... Alpha, welcome. Just discussing my series and my project. Yeah, I'm hoping Irma Dolce will appear as Alina in that mini... I call it a mini series, but it's really side stories for the project. But yeah, I mean, we've got the leaders. We've got Alina, obviously. We've got 4 unnamed Academy leaders. One of them's a bard. One of them's a musician. One of them is a singer, and the other one's a jester. So the bard would be poetry, the musician and the singer are very self-explanatory. And then, of course, we've got various students. Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. Yes, yeah, doing very well, thank you. This is actually, my 4th live stream now. I've been doing them for about 3 weeks on a Saturday evening. Okay, I'm just seeing the conversation on my chat feed. Very good indeed. So, um, you know, it's. I think that one's going to be a bit more difficult to cast because it's a bit more complex in what I'm looking for characters. The other ones are very specific, and none of the characters that I've listed are named except for Alina. So, oh, this. Oh, no, 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 it's not Mortal Kombat. I'll stand up for you. It is indeed GOT. It is indeed GOT. Yes. So, you know, I'm always writing, Absolutely love it, absolutely adore it. Hi, game devs. Welcome indeed. I should say. Well, you know, such is life, I guess. But working through it, and always writing, always coming up with ideas. The thing is, I don't actually write anything down. It's all up here, which is probably not a good idea, you know. Probably not a good idea to sort of have that. I ought to start writing things down, but I always lose bits of paper. Thank you very much. Yes, yeah. Yeah, I think she would make. I think she would be. As I say, I'm very self-conscious about approaching people. Very well. If you wouldn't mind, I get very nervous because I mean the worst thing is they can say no. That's the worst thing, but I don't know. It's just that I'm always looking for specific. I mean, as I say, the academy is probably going to be the hardest one to cast because it's. I'm thinking something on my nose. No, I think it's the No, I think it's the shadow actually from my lamp. That looks really weird. I'm looking at my screen in front of me and I can see my nose looking a bit pixelated, and it looks really